Hi, good morning once again. So, today we are going to begin with our module 2. Let me show you the content of module 2. So, the name of this module is Recruitment and Selection, and in this module, there are a number of chapters which we are going to discuss. So, as you can see on the screen, first thing what we are going to discuss in this module is the basics of job analysis. In that, we will discuss what is the data collection techniques in job analysis and job description and job specification. This is one chapter which is called job analysis. Then next one we are going to discuss is about HR planning, concept and process. Then what we are going to discuss is about recruitment and selection, concepts and methods. And then we will see what is induction and how placement is done in the organization, and then we will also take an overview of an introduction to human resource information system, and then if time permits we will discuss the case study, otherwise we can discuss the case study at the end of the syllabus. So this is how we will be seeing like different chapters in this module. The name of the module is recruitment and selection. So today we are going to discuss this chapter which is called job analysis. This is chapter number 2 in your reference book. The first module, the first introduction to HRM, is part of chapter number 1. If you can refer to the textbooks or reference books, and this is chapter number 2 from your book. So this is about job analysis. Now this word should be familiar to you because I remember sharing about job analysis when we were discussing the functions of HRM, right? It was about procurement that we were talking about, and first thing came, the first sub function which came, it was about job analysis. So then also I told you that it is all about analyzing the job, before you hire people, or before you understand what kind of skills are needed among the individuals, or before you understand what kind of qualifications are needed among the people, all you need to first know is everything about the job, that what the job is all about. So this is the chapter is about job analysis. Now let's see what is job analysis. Okay, let us now begin with the methods for collecting job analysis data. So as I told you, you know that everything is dependent on how you collect the data. So techniques of data collection or the methods for collecting job analysis data is very important, because how will you otherwise collect the information about the job, right? You need some ways in which somebody can tell you that this job can be done in this way, this is the right way of doing it. So some common methods are mentioned over here, and then we will see one more slide in detail wherein you can understand more techniques in detail. So as you can see over here, see methods for collecting job analysis data. First common method is interview. You go and ask questions to somebody who's already doing that job. They will exactly tell you how a job has to be performed. So that's how you can collect all the information about that particular job from a person who's already doing a job. So interview is one method. Second, questionnaire. So you must have learned in your research methods, about the questionnaire method of job analysis. So what happens is you try and distribute the questionnaire. It can be open-ended questionnaire or close-ended questionnaire, wherein you try and give the questionnaire to people so that they can just write the information in that questionnaire. Maybe if it is like close-ended questionnaire, then they just have to put the tick mark, yes, no, right, agree, disagree. That's how it is to be done, but you can easily gather the data. Another thing is observation. You just observe how people are performing that job, and then you can write about it, that okay, this particular job can be done in this way, these are the number of tasks which are involved in this particular job. So that is observation. And another one is participants diary or logs. So you can just maintain a log all the year round or for a specific period of time, wherein wherever you come across something, you just note down. Keep noting down about how one particular job can be done. That's how you will have the enough information to write about that particular job. So these are the simplest methods, for collecting the job analysis data. Now actually the techniques in detail, I would like to take you through all these techniques of data collection and job analysis. So see, look at the techniques of data collection. First one is questionnaire method. So I already told you, right, about what question it is. Now, what you can see below questionnaire is the arrow leads you to different types of questionnaire. Like I'm just going to read some: position analysis questionnaire, functional job analysis, management position description questionnaire, work profiling system, mosaic, common metric questionnaire, Fleshman job analysis system. So these are the different types of questionnaire, but we will not go in detail because it's not actually part of your syllabus, but it is just for the sake of information. So we will not go in detail, but the point is that all these types of questionnaire can help you in collecting data related to the job. So that is the first method of job analysis or data collection. First method is the questionnaire. Second one is job performance. See, you as an individual, you can yourself try your hand on something, right? Let's say that you want to write a description about the job of a sales executive. So why don't you try, you see that what does a sales executive does, like you do it, you have a meeting with your boss, with the senior, you understand what are the targets of the day, you go and meet people, conduct the meetings, try and sell to the customer, try and convince them and see how much you're able to convert, what is the conversion ratio, how was your experience, what challenges did you face. So by performing that particular job is the best way of collecting the data. But yes, there are limitations because you are not you need to be technically sound, you need to have the knowledge of that area if you are actually performing that job. Otherwise it becomes risky, right? Sometimes it is dangerous because you are not trained to perform that particular job, but you're still doing it, so that means it's very much risky. But by performing the job you can actually collect the data. Next comes the observation. So we have already discussed what is observation, right? Just by observing how that particular job can be done. Let's say that you are writing a description for the job of a waiter. I'll just go towards the simplest example. So you keep observing what a waiter is doing in one restaurant, what a waiter is doing in another restaurant, and likewise you prepare the description that a person is actually required to perform these many tasks. And when you will be visiting 2-3 different places, you will see more trained people, who are actually doing really well, who are offering good service. So that's what we want, right? That's what we want. So observation can also be one good way of collecting the data. Next one is critical incident. Now sometimes what might happen is, in the job, some situations are critical means something which needs attention, right? Some situations are critical, they are extraordinary, they are not normal, they are unusual. So such kind of incident takes place, so it's always good to gather the information related to those kind of incidents, because whenever you're preparing the description you can always write, that a person should also possess this kind of skill to handle that situation. For example, let's say that you are a sales executive, right? And you are trying to convince a customer, but suddenly customer got irritated and slapped you. Same thing might happen to the waiter also, right? A person was not happy with the service and slapped you. So then what do you do? So such kind of critical incidents should be shared, the data should be collected related to the critical incidents. And you can always find out, you make use of that data. For example, whenever you hiring a candidate, you need to hire a person who has patience, ऐसा नहीं कि कस्टमर ने आपको एक चाटा लगा दिया तो सामने आपने दो और लगा दिए. You cannot do like that. It's not that's not the right way of doing it, but rather than that you need to smartly handle the situation. So for that you need to collect the data, that is called critical incident data. Next one is interview method, right? I told you that interviewing is something which is very common. Like if somebody is, let's say I'll just call the waiter and I'll ask, what are the tasks that you're doing, what is your experience, are you facing any problems, right? What can be the scope of improvement. Likewise I'll also ask the sales executive that how are you performing your job, what are the ways you're doing, when do you start, when do you end, what are the challenges that you face, what are the benefits that you get, right? What keeps you motivated. So there are so many questions which I can ask and actually try and understand more about that particular job, and that's how I can write about that job. So that is called interviewing method. Next one is diary maintenance. Diary maintenance is like you're maintaining a diary. You're just either you're performing the job or you're observing, but for a very long period of time you are maintaining a diary. Or somebody who's doing the job, they must be maintaining, they must be noting down the task, everyday tasks which are to be performed. So then they must be noting down those tasks. So what you can do is, you can just refer those logs or refer those diaries to identify or to understand or collect more data about that particular job. Then comes technical conference. What happens in a conference, like a group of people will be sitting together, and they will be discussing about what has to be done or what is right, what is wrong. So in a technical conference, a group of experts or group of people, mostly seniors, they will sit together and they will discuss about that particular job, that okay, this is how this job is done. Again, these are the challenges which are faced in this particular job, and this is how it can be solved, it can be addressed. So that is about the technical conference. The next one is task inventory analysis. So what is task inventory analysis? Any particular task, right? Let's say whatever the number of tasks you are doing in one particular job. Let's say you are a waiter and there are number of tasks. So task inventory means the total number of tasks. So you try and analyze each and every job to understand that each and every step or each and every job that a person is doing, right, being a waiter, is important. So you try and analyze, because at times, what happens is, you are performing some task in that particular job which are not even relevant, which are not even necessary. So when you try and analyze a job, then you actually get to know about what are the different right things that should be carried forward, which should be taken note of. So that is possible whenever you are collecting the data or you're doing task inventory. So these are the ways in which you will be able to collect the data. Now I hope you remember we discussed the process, and in that step number 3 was implementing data collection or job analysis. So this is what it is, right? Through these different techniques, you might use some of them, you might use all of them, you might use one of them, depending upon the timeline, depending upon the importance of that particular job, right? You will spend time, you will spend resources in collecting the data, and on the basis of data collection, then you will be able to prepare those statements like description and specification, so you exactly know what is your job all about. Alright, so this is about the techniques of data collection in job analysis, or the methods of job analysis. Now we will move on to step number 4 in our process, that is job description, right? I already told you about job description, so let's see what it is. Okay, can I just give you a minute to read? Can you please read it on your own and then we can discuss? Alright, let us discuss now. See, job description is an organized factual statement that is prepared by considering the data gathered in the job analysis process, right? I just told you that once in the process, once you collect the data, then next you will be able to do is prepare the job description and prepare the job specification statements. So it is called factual statements because it is based on the facts. You saw the facts and you collected the data, right? So thus job description can be defined as a written record of the duties, responsibilities and requirements of a specific job, right? Job description is what can be defined as a written record of all these things: duties, responsibilities and requirements of a specific job. Job description is descriptive in nature and provides information on the type of job to be performed, the way to perform it, and the individual responsible to perform it. So it is mainly descriptive in nature because you are trying to describe everything in detail, right? And it's going to provide a lot of information related to the job to be performed, or the way to perform it, and individual responsible to perform the job. It divides a job into various sub-jobs and explains the nature of each sub-job. The main aim of job description is to differentiate a particular job from other jobs in an organization and decide the outer limits of that job. So here what happens is, the main aim of job description is to differentiate a particular job from other jobs in an organization, and also decide what are the limits, because there will be some limitations, some challenges in the job, right? So whenever you are doing it, writing the description, you can always take note down those challenges also. So this is how job description is all about. It is mainly, the written record of the duties, responsibilities and requirements of a specific job. Now, why do we need this actually? Like, we have discussed enough, but still, specifically, why do you think we need something like job description? So, first thing, see, job description will help in clearly communicating the expectations of an organization from the employees, right? So what is organization expecting from you? So many times it happens that a person is not able to perform well because person doesn't know what is right and what is wrong, or what is expected out of them. उनको गोल ही नहीं पता होते कि what am I working towards. Some employees are just blindly following the instructions, so their productivity will always be low. But if you share with them that what are they trying to achieve, what are the goals they want to achieve, or what are they working towards, then it becomes much easier, and you will see a better result, compared to without any information, if a person is doing the job. So by job description, you will just share with them, you will tell them that this is what you are supposed to do under this particular position. That means you are clearly communicating the expectations to the employees, and it becomes much easier for them also to do their task easily. It ensures that the duties and responsibilities of employees are aligned with the organization's vision, right? Whatever vision is, organization's vision is, the duty and responsibility, everybody is trying to work towards the same objective, so it becomes much easier. Then it provides a basis for deciding job structure and measuring job performance. So if description is there, right, if the tasks are clearly defined, that these are the things you're supposed to do in your job, it becomes so much easier to compare the performance of a person, right? At least you know that what is the performance, you can at least measure it. आपको पता ही है कि भाई इस बंदे को इस तरीके से बिहेव करना है और ऐसा इतना टारगेट अचीव करना है. So then at least you can always measure the performance of an individual. The job description lays the foundation for fair pay and grading systems. It just lays the foundation for fair pay and grading system. Like I told you before also, how will you otherwise know how much compensation should be offered? But at least by understanding job description, everything is clearly defined. At least okay, that this is how the grading system should be. This much is the payment that should be offered to the employee, and that's how job description works. It serves as an important reference tool in the case of employee-employer disputes or any discipline issues. So it serves as a reference also. If there are any issues, if let's say that a person, you are not giving promotion to somebody because you think that employee has not really done well, so then employee is obviously going to argue with you, and there will be some disputes which will be arising. Now if these disputes are not settled, then trade union might be involved, other employees might be involved, and it can take a bigger route. But just to avoid that, at least you have the description very clearly ready with you, and the person will also accept that whenever that person is taking up a job. So that's why it will serve as an important reference, in case of any problems or any disputes which are arising. It can be used to determine training and development needs also when expectations or requirements are not met. So with the help of job description, you can also arrange training programs, because you know that these skills are needed, you know, these tasks are to be done. So ये task करने के लिए आपको training की ज़रूरत पड़ ही सकती है, for safety purpose, for security purpose. So that's why it also serves as an important informative tool for determining the training needs. So this is how it is needed. The job description is needed. Now, how to write a job description? What is the process of writing a job description? The first step involves noting down all the aspects of the job. First, what you should be doing, note down all the aspects that I'm going to talk about. What are the tasks to be done, who is the reporting authority, right? What are the challenges, what are the targets, everything. Note down all the points, different aspects of a job. Then after that, the next step is to decide the task to be included in the job. Now after you've selected everything, now at least you know that these are important, these should be included in the job, that a person who is doing this particular job has to compulsorily perform these tasks. So second is that. Third step, various key responsibilities are identified from the raw data. So now when you have all the data, you also know that there are so many tasks which has to be performed. What you can do is identify the key responsibilities. Because see, whenever you advertising or whenever you sharing, you won't be able to write 100 points. You will write 5 important points or 6 important points which are very important. Rest will follow. Rest will automatically follow, but you cannot note down everything. That's why you need to identify what are the key responsibilities, and they should be processed. After the roles and responsibilities are finalized, they are ranked in an order based on their priority. So after whatever roles and responsibilities are mentioned or finalized, what you need to do is you will rank in one order based on the priority of data. And then finally, after the job description is written, it is checked by the experts, right? It's not that only one person is going to do this job, just write the description, but after data collection gets over, a proper discussion takes place among different parties, and then they will decide that okay, this is correct about the job, and they will be finalizing the description. So that's how job description is written, and it's checked by the experts. Now let me show you how what are the components of job description is. See, just try and look before I tell you. Take a minute, take a moment, and just try and read if you can read. So this is combination of both description and specification, but please try and see once. I hope it is visible to you because the fonts are a little smaller. But see, first thing, job title, right? It should reflect the duties and level of the. So have some title. Let's say sales manager. So that's a title. Or you can specifically, sales manager can be a job holder's title, but then specifically you can talk about the job, for example IT or HR. So then there can be a job title, there can be alternate title, there can be purpose of the job, very clear purpose, there can be code number, there can be job holder's title, what will be the location, what will be the type, what is the department, who is the reporting authority, number of staff members reporting. Then comes the job summary, brief description about the job, what is the job all about. Then comes the duties, what are the different tasks that has to be performed. What is the authority limits, in who is responsible for what, the authority limits. And working condition, under what is the working condition, a person has to work under this condition, so that also has to be specified. Then technical requirements, what are the technical requirements in this particular job. So now see, till now we have seen that everything is very clearly mentioned about a job, so it becomes so much easier for a person to actually perform that job. And then After that, little part from the specification is come, like what are the skills required to do the job. So what are the minimum skills and qualifications, what is the experience needed to do the job. So many jobs mentioned, you must have seen the ads also, like so many jobs say that minimum experience of 5 years, minimum experience of 10 years or 2 years, or a fresher is welcome, like that. So every job has its own requirement. So experience also you mentioned. Then special circumstances, under what circumstances, like let's say that sometimes you have to do a night shift, so you have to specifically mention what are the special circumstances, right? Or sometimes you have to be ready uh, to work overtime, or sometimes your job involves traveling, so you need to mention what is the special requirement or circumstances. Traveling is a requirement. If it is suitable, then only you. So this information becomes so much easier. See, whenever you're recruiting a candidate and whenever you're interviewing them, you can always take their consent. Are you ready to travel? If somebody has family responsibilities and let's say is not willing to travel, so there and then there is no question of there is no confusion later. You will only move ahead or go ahead with the candidates who are ready to fulfill or accept these conditions which are there in your job. So that is a special circumstance. And then any special requirements are there, any other special requirements, some knowledge जैसे कि आपको typing आना चाहिए, इसकी speed होनी चाहिए, या anything like that. So that is your special requirement. If it is there, it should be also addressed. So these are the components of a job description statement. See, there are some examples given over here. I'm sorry I cannot zoom it right now, but if you can just see a little bit, there is job title, there is location, there is employment type, overview of the company, purpose, specialization, level, everything is given over here. I'm giving you 1 minute. Please go through this slide so you can understand it better. Okay, I hope you finished reading. Now I will show you one more example. See, this is the job description of a sales and marketing manager. So you can just see, title is clear, location is clear, working hours are clear, reporting authority is clear, purpose of the job. So what are you supposed to do? To manage the receipt, handling and escalation of all the sales inquiries. You have to handle, to administer the preparation of quotes, to create and implement a marketing and PR strategy, to produce appropriate marketing collateral as required. So everything is mentioned. What are the main duties and responsibilities? See, to manage the receipt handling and escalation of sales inquiry, उसके भी सब points आपको क्या क्या करना है. To receive and coordinate all the sales inquiries, to monitor the status of all the live inquiries, to ensure that all the quotes and associated files are linked to the inquiry. So everything is very specifically mentioned. So much easier for a person who is doing the job. He or she will know what he or she has to be done. राइट, कितनी प्रोडक्टिविटी अफेक्ट हो जाती है इसमें. अगर क्लैरिटी नहीं हो क्या क्या करना है तो धीरे धीरे सीखते हो. ये तो पहले से यू आर प्रिपेयर्ड दैट दिस इज़ व्हाट आई वांट. इवन यू कैन ऑफर ट्रेनिंग टू द एम्प्लॉयज़ कि एग्जैक्टली ये करना है, ऐसे करना है. So everything becomes so much smooth and so much easier. This is one more thing. This is an ad from Infosys. So you can just see what are the open positions and what is the requirement. Mostly ads may be mentioned kar dete ki we are looking for this kind of skills. So if you possess those skills, then you can always apply for the job. So you can see this later, but that's how job descriptions are. Everything is written in detail, described in detail in job description. Moving ahead, Now we are going to quickly see how our job specifications. Job specification क्या होता है? So description you understood, it is about the job, task, duties and responsibilities, TDR, and about specification is about KSA, knowledge, skills and abilities. So here specification we are talking about the person who is doing the job. Let's see what it is. See, it is mentioned over here, a definition given by Edwin Flippo. Job specification is a statement of minimum acceptable human qualities which are necessary to perform a job properly. Right? In order to perform a job properly, what things you have to do? So, it is a statement of minimum acceptable human qualities. So, that is about job specification. Human qualities we are talking about. Then what are the features of job specification? So basically it is going to see these things. First thing, it is going to check on your physical specification, because so many jobs are such, which needs you to be fit and fine. So so many, mostly good companies, they always take you through a physical examination, medical examination, to ensure that you are fit enough. Let's say if you have some issues, some diseases, then that means your productivity will get affected, you will take a lot of leaves, so then employer will not hire you. So that's why some jobs have some physical specification कि traveling करना ही पड़ेगा, या आपकी आई साइट बहुत ही sharp होनी चाहिए, depending upon the job. So वो requirement है, that has to be fulfilled. Some features, another thing you will consider is emotional and social specification. Some emotional stability should be there. Now for example, किसी भी service industry में if you are going to deal with people, थोड़ा तो burnout हो सकता है. Your job becomes more stressful because different customers, different people are going to behave in a very different way. So if you are not able to handle that stress, then it is problematic in nature. It becomes problematic. That's why कितनी emotional stability आप में होनी चाहिए, कितना socially active आप होने चाहिए, those specifications also will be there. Some mental specifications, like mentally how much strong you should be, you are expected to be in this particular job, or they say that इतना आप stress handle कर पाओगे, then only you should apply for the job. And then behavioral specification, that be in this particular job there are certain behaviors which are expected, right? For example, a waiter has to be all the time having smile on his face, always remain patient, always welcome somebody. So there are certain behaviors which are expected in a particular job. So the job specification will always talk about that. These are the broad titles in job specification. So what is included in job specification? One is your education, your training, that you should be at least minimum graduate होने चाहिए, post graduate होने चाहिए, at least engineer होने चाहिए. So your education and training. Second one is work experience. Some jobs need experienced people. तो वो बहुत ही clearly होता है कि anybody who is performing this job should at least have a minimum experience of 5 years, or let's say 3 years, or at least 1 year. So some jobs, depending upon what kind of job it is, will always have some experiences specified. Then what kind of skills and competencies are needed? Let's say a person should always be sound, should be able to make good decisions, so decision making skills, right? Or what competencies और क्या क्या skills आपको चाहिए, वो specify होती है. Then physical strength and stamina, as I told you that some jobs require physical strength or certain stamina, so then should be mentioned. Then stress coping ability, this also I told you, in some jobs there is a lot of burnout when employees are involved. Let's say for a nurse, for a doctor, you're continuously dealing with people of different nature, different problems, then there are chances कि आपको खुद को stress आ सकता है. So then you should also have like enough stress coping ability to deal with that situation. And then there could be some special needs also किसी particular job में, कि भाई आपको इतना तो ये आना चाहिए साइड कि भाई थोड़ी सी टाइपिंग तो आपको you should be very fast at typing, you should be able to make calls like 50 calls during the day. Depends. So if there is any special needs in that particular job, then you should be able to do it. So these are in short the broad titles in job specification. Now जैसे हमने कुछ एग्जाम्पल्स देखे थे डिस्क्रिप्शन के, वैसे कुछ स्पेसिफिकेशन के देखते हैं. So mostly they are not specified, they are not shown separately, but mostly in the companies they are always shown together, description and specification. जैसे इसमें project manager है, project manager, look at the responsibilities, look at the location, look at the candidate requirements. अब ये जो candidate requirement वाला part है, that is specification. So please take a minute and please read what is candidate requirement. Okay, I hope you finished reading. Let's see one more example. This is about the executive secretary job description. See, qualifications are mentioned, duties and responsibilities are mentioned. Please take a minute and go through the slide. Okay, there is one more example of a job description for territory sales executive. So again, you can see over here, all the details are here: job location, reporting to, job tier level, then product description, position description. Then you can see what are the KPIs, what are the desired skills and experience from an individual, right? So this is how we can, in your exam also, if you come across a case, let's say the case ek aata hai, and then they say that, right, prepare a description, let's say prepare a description and specification for the position of sales manager, तो ऐसे ही आपको बनाना है, right? These are the examples. But now I have one more, some two, three slides I have in which different roles are there. See, for example, marketing job role, कुछ भी हो सकता है. See, there are so many positions. You can pick one, and then you can just prepare one description statement. You know, that will be useful to you. You can just see, for example, just pick this business analyst number 3, or last third marketing communication manager, और लेट्स से कस्टमर रिलेशनशिप मैनेजर, सबसे सिंपल कस्टमर रिलेशनशिप मैनेजर. उसका आप एक बार गूगल में यू जस्ट फाइंड आउट द डिस्क्रिप्शन एंड स्पेसिफिकेशन, एंड यू विल एग्जैक्टली अंडरस्टैंड अगेन that what a person is supposed to do. Likewise, there are HRM job roles. Different kind of HR jobs are there. Likewise, you can just see some finance job roles, right? Somebody is an investment banker, somebody is an assistant accountant, somebody is management accountant, somebody is tech specialist, somebody is relationship manager, somebody is finance director. credit controller. So depends, different positions are there. You can prepare a description and specification for any specific job. So yeah, that's how the entire chapter is all about. I hope everything is clear about job analysis. So next what we are going to start is another chapter that is about HR planning. All right, thank you.